Welcome back, everybody, to Behind the Business here at the Stay at Home Bookkeeper Academy. So excited for our topic today. Today, we are answering a question that is trending in the searches. And honestly, it is one of the most important questions for people just discovering this path, which is what even is a bookkeeper?
It's probably one of my favorite questions that I see that pops up all the time. A lot of people hear the word bookkeeping and they assume that it is a boring, complicated, or something that only accountants can understand, but that is just not true. So, you guys are in for a treat today. We brought in our head of education and fulfillment, Tracy Rosenberry, to walk us through what a bookkeeper actually does in plain English. So, how are you today, Tracy?
Doing good.
Okay,
Awesome.
let's start it off at the top, nice and simple. Tracy, what is a bookkeeper?
Yeah. So, I mean, in the simplest terms, a bookkeeper helps businesses to keep track of their money. We are going to record everything that comes in and everything that goes out, making sure that everything's accurate and organized. This way, business owners can clearly see where their money's going and make smarter decisions.
Okay, great. So we are going to go through today some very simple terms that we hear in bookkeeping. And like you've said before, Tracy, a bookkeeper helps businesses stay financially organized and on track. So I want to go step by step. Can you explain in that everyday language, what does it mean when you are a big bookkeeper and you are recording income and expenses for a business? What is
Yeah.
that?
Well, I mean, this is really the heart of bookkeeping. So, recording income and expenses is really just keeping track of the money that comes into the business and the money that goes out. Whenever a business gets paid, we record it as income. When the business spends money, whether it's supplies, rent, whatever, we track that as an expense. And this helps business owners to see exactly where their money's going so they can make sure they're not spending more than they earn.
I love that. And this is very interactive. So if we don't answer any of the questions that you have, please post those questions here. We want to make sure that we get those answered for you. Here's another one that we see all the time. What about reconciling bank and credit card accounts? That sounds technical. So what does that actually mean and why does it even matter?
Yeah, I mean, reconciling sounds a lot a lot more complicated than it actually is. It really just means that you're making sure that the numbers in the bookkeeping software match what's actually on the bank or credit card statement. It's really very similar to balancing your checkbook. Yeah, I mean, I think most people know what that is. You're checking everything lines up correctly, nothing's missing, everything's where it should be. If something doesn't match up, it's a red flag that something might have been missed or entered incorrectly. So this is just like your double check it. Make sure that everything's correct and nothing's unaccounted for.
That is perfect. All right. So can you break down accounts receivable and accounts payable? What do those terms mean and how does a bookkeeper manage those?
Sure. Accounts receivable is money that people owe the business. So, for example, if a customer buys something and hasn't paid yet, that is money that the business is waiting to get paid. The bookkeeper is going to keep track of who owes that money and maybe even follow up if needed. And then accounts payable, that's the opposite. It's money that the business owes to others. So this could be invoices from vendors, supplies, subscription fees. The bookkeeper is going to track those payments and make sure that they're paid on time so that the business stays in good standing and avoids late fees.
Okay, let's wrap it up with one of the final pieces of being a bookkeeper, preparing financial reports. Can you talk about, Tracy, what does that include and how often are those prepared and how do those reports help a business owner?
Yeah. So financial reports are kind of like the report card for the business. After you've categorized all the transactions and reconciled the accounts, the bookkeeper is going to pull together all of those details into the financial report. So typically that's done every month because we're going to get bank statements and credit card statements about every month. So that's typically when we do that after the close of the month. And the two main reports that we're going to look at the most in businesses are the profit and loss report, also called the income statement, and the balance sheet. The profit and loss statement is kind of like the scoreboard. It shows whether the business is winning or losing. If income exceeds cost and expenses, you have a profit. If cost and expenses exceed income, then it's a loss. So kind of like the statement says, the profit or loss, profit and loss. The balance sheet is basically a snapshot of the business. So it's like taking a photo of the entire financial situation at one point in time. It's going to list out everything that the business owns, like cash or equipment, everything it owes, like credit cards, loans, and unpaid bills, and then everything that's left over, like the money that the owner contributed or pulled out of the business for personal use. But both of these reports together really helps the business owner to understand where they stand financially so that they can make smart decisions, like answering questions like, can I afford to hire help? Or do I need to raise my prices? Or am I spending too much on supplies?
I love it. So thank you for getting technical with us. We wanted to go through and answer some of the very basic questions that we get to demonstrate that it's not about numbers, it's about organizing. But I want to zoom back out here for a second. Combining all of these technical things we just spoke about, what kind of value does a bookkeeper really give a business owner in their processes that we just talked about?
Yeah. So a bookkeeper really takes the stress off the business owner. That's the key. When everything is organized and accurate, they don't have to guess where they stand financially. They can make smarter decisions and plan ahead instead of being blindsided. Plus, it frees up their time so that they can focus on operating and growing their business, knowing that the financial side is under control. So it's like having someone keep everything in check so that they don't have to worry about it.
Here's a question I think, Tracy, that we get so many times, and I think it's be really good for you to be able to share is what does a typical day look like for a bookkeeper that is working from home?
I mean, honestly, it can look however you want, right?
Mhm.
Because you're in control. You're in charge of that. And you're in charge of that. But I know you're looking for the details, so I'm gonna go.
I mean, I was going to say sitting at the beach, so it's fine. I mean, wherever your
Yeah.
laptop is.
You're going to spend a good chunk of your time working through financial transactions. So categorizing expenses, making sure income's recorded properly. Then once the bank and credit card statements come in, you're going to be reconciling accounts, you'll be running reports. You're also going to spend some time talking with your clients. So whether that's answering their questions or asking them for documentation or more information on transactions, a really big part of the job is staying organized and meeting deadlines. It's not just about the numbers, it's about keeping things running smoothly with your clients too.
Amazing. Um, one of the other things, and I was trying to look and see several, so keep those questions popping in the chat. So keep doing that. Good job, everyone. A lot of people hear bookkeeping, right? And they think, oh, that's just data entry or doing taxes. Can you explain how it's different from what an accountant or tax preparer does and what you see as bookkeeper and how you would differentiate those?
Yeah, so this is an interesting question. I
Yeah.
actually disagree. I actually disagree with what a lot of people say. So I mean, a lot of people say accountants do taxes, but keepers don't, but that's not exactly true. Accounting is an umbrella term that covers everything financial for a business. So this includes bookkeeping, it includes tax prep, it includes audits, financial planning, and so much more. So bookkeeping is actually a part of accounting, but not all accounting is bookkeeping. So bookkeeping is going to focus on the day to day. It's tracking income, expenses, reconciling, keeping everything organized and accurate. It's the foundation that keeps the financial side of the business running smoothly. Specialized accounting, like your tax preparation or financial analysis, that handles higher level tasks. So your tax preparers, they're going to focus on filing tax returns. Other accountants analyze financial statements, and others may handle audits or long-term financial strategy. So these services tend to focus on planning for the future, while bookkeeping is the ongoing work that keeps everything in order every day. So think of it this way. Bookkeeping is like the foundation of a house. It's going to keep everything stable. Everything else in accounting, like tax preparation, financial analysis, that's like the contractors. They're going to come in, they're going to build on that foundation to help the business make bigger decisions. So, like saving on taxes or planning for future growth.
Okay, so we're starting to talk a little bit about services. Can you speak a bit beyond just basic bookkeeping? What other core services do most bookkeepers offer? And are there ways to grow, specialize, or increase your pricing as those skills grow and as you offer those new services?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, most bookkeepers are going to handle the basics, the tracking the income, the expenses, reconciling accounts, managing accounts payable, receivable, putting together financial reports. As you get more experience, you can absolutely specialize in certain areas or add extra services. So, for example, you could focus on specific industries like real estate or construction, or offer services like payroll or setting up bookkeeping systems for new businesses. And as you get better and more efficient, you can also raise your pricing by offering more value or stepping up your level of expertise. So you have all sorts of options, whatever you want to do.
Great. So we've talked about a lot today. We've gotten a little bit technical. We've talked about services. We are answering the questions that we typically get, just wanting to understand what is bookkeeping. So Tracy, for anyone who is watching who has just discovered this career path, and is thinking, this sounds like something I could actually do, but I'm not sure, what would you say to them right now?
Well, you never know if you don't try, right? I say go for it. Obviously, it worked out really great for me, but bookkeeping bookkeeping can be a really great career with a lot of opportunities. You could even take training later on to prepare taxes or get into that higher level financial analysis if that's something you're interested in. You don't have to have a degree to get started with bookkeeping, but you do have to have a desire to help people and a willingness to learn. So I think it's a really great opportunity. It's incredibly rewarding and it can offer a lot of flexibility too.
Tracy, thank you so much for making bookkeeping feel like it's actually approachable and it's actually real, right? Like you're doing this, we're doing this, and you made it so incredible for all of us here today. So, and you've also shown us that it's not just about being a math genius. You don't have to be a math genius at all. Guys, I forgot to tell you guys, I failed math in college, so it's okay. But it's really truly about helping business owners stay calm, organized, and confident in their numbers. So, do you agree with that, Tracy?
Yeah, absolutely.
You've been so amazing sharing this today. So, thank you so much. If you guys love Tracy, let's do a thumbs up down here in the chat. Good job, everyone. Emily, can you go ahead and pull up that QR code for us? I want everybody to see that. There you go. Thank you, Emily. All right. If you were listening to Tracy today and you were thinking, you know what? I can actually do this. Here's what we want you to do today. We want you to scan that code to book your free clarity call with our team. What did I just say? It's free. There's no pressure, no nothing other than you're going to talk to our team. We're going to listen to what you're currently doing. We're going to walk you through how you can get started today, even if you've never done anything like this before. So scan that QR code, get your call booked with our team. Let us help you get your business started. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today.